The squad finally touches grass after hiking for 15 minutes, but the vibes are completely off because the coordinates are totally scuffed. The communication signal is ghosting them harder than a toxic situationship, and the humidity is wrecking everyone's hair. It feels way too quiet, like the calm before the server crashes, and they are low-key stressing about being lost without a map. The navigation system is entering its flop era, so they have to rely on manual vibes to find the path. Chen suggests looking for these bamboo rafts that act as archaic GPS markers. It is giving very much fetch quest energy, but they have to lock in and find the route before the plot moves on without them. They stumble upon a random NPC traveler who looks like he got lost on the way to a different game genre. He is struggling with the bamboo raft mechanics, proving that the tutorial skipped him. The crew approaches him with main character energy, hoping he is not an enemy encounter in disguise, just a confused tourist needing a carry. Adashir drops his tragic backstory about being the last one standing in his friend group, which is honestly traumatic but a bit suspicious. He asks for help starting the raft because he is tech illiterate with local gadgets. The group decides to let him tag along, probably to keep an eye on him so he does not pull a betrayal move later. The bamboo forest is serving high-definition graphics, and Adashir is yapping about the wind sounds like he is writing a poetry blog. The squad decides to take a breather because the stamina bar is low. Adashir awkwardly dips, realizing he is interrupting the cutscene, leaving the main cast to discuss his weird vibes and lack of digital footprint. They run into Adashir again because the map is linear and there is literally only one path forward. He is acting all mysterious and chill, claiming he navigated by pure luck, which sounds like a skill issue cover-up. The tension is awkward, but they have to keep moving to reach the city before the loading screen happens. Adashir starts asking deep philosophical questions about the administrator's life choices, breaking the fourth wall a little bit. He points out how everyone blindly trusts the main character, which is a valid critique of the plot armor. The weather turns bad, signaling that a dramatic boss fight or plot twist is about to drop. Neferith pulls up with the ops, and the reunion is incredibly toxic. The dialogue suggests they have major beef from a previous season. They try to talk it out, but the vibe shifts to violence immediately because diplomacy is not in the budget. It is a classic, we used to be friends, but now we are enemies trope. The administrator wakes up from a knockout to find a loud girl named Tang screaming in their face. She thinks they were playing dead, which is hilarious. Suddenly, it turns into a combat encounter because Tang thinks she is the main character of this area. Chen recognizes her style immediately, calling out her cringe weapon choices. It turns out Tang is the leader of the local bandit crew, the Qingpo Jai, and she has history with Chen. They have this frenemy dynamic where they roast each other's life choices. Tang is trying to act tough and enforce her territory rules, but Chen is just exposing her embarrassing past like it is nothing. Tang decides to hold them hostage because that is just bandit protocol, but she is surprisingly polite about it. She wants to negotiate in private, proving she is more about the bag than the bloodshed. The squad realizes they are stuck in a side quest where they have to appease the local faction to progress. Tang tries to shake them down for loot, claiming it is an entrance fee. Chen counters by flexing their connection to the administrator, who is apparently a big deal boss. Tang is confused but intrigued by the title, realizing she might be messing with a whale player instead of a free-to-play noob. The conversation turns into a hype session where Chen gaslights Tang into thinking they are on the same side against the Wulin city administration. They name-drop Perlika as their strategist, and Tang gets excited because she needs a brainy teammate to help her deal with her own enemies. The alliance is forming purely on chaos energy. Ruan Yi, the brother with actual brain cells, shows up to stop the fighting. He realizes his sister is about to start a war she cannot win. He sees the administrator's squad is overpowered and decides it is better to be friends than to get wiped. He is the sensible support character, keeping the team from throwing the game. Ruan Yi spills the tea that the bandit camp is broke and starving because of the pollution monsters. He convinces Tang to let the outsiders fix their water wheels instead of fighting them. It is a classic, you scratch my back, I scratch yours questline that unlocks the path forward. The deal is sealed. If the squad fixes the tech issues, they get a pass to enter the city. Tang warns them the bridge is broken, adding another puzzle to solve. She hands them some quest items to carry water, treating the administrator like a newly recruited guild member who has to prove their worth. The squad arrives at the broken bridge and realizes it is a simple puzzle mechanic involving water bottles. Tang is impressed that the Endfield crew actually knows how to do manual labor. They start fixing the infrastructure while fighting off waves of slime monsters that are trying to grief their progress. Tang gets scolded by her brother for reckless behavior, but she defends her clout chasing. The bandits are rallying, and the administrator's team is essentially carrying the entire faction right now. The local NPCs start respecting the main characters because they are the only ones actually getting things done in this server. Tang makes a grand speech declaring the administrator as her new bestie and ally. She promises that her bandit camp will protect them, which is wholesome but also chaotic. The squad has officially unlocked the Bandit Alliance achievement, gaining local street cred that will definitely help in the next zone. Before leaving, they inspect the water wheels that control the city gate. It seems the machinery has been glitching for weeks. Tang admits she does not want them to leave because they are so useful, showing some attachment issues. She is basically trying to keep the high-level players in her guild for as long as possible. The squad decides to breach Wulin City by blowing up a wall, which is the most destructive way to enter a safe zone. Tang loves this idea because she thrives on chaos. They plant explosives and treat a historical landmark like a destructible environment in a shooter game, ignoring all safety protocols. The explosion works, and they are greeted by a security team led by Mifu. Mifu recognizes Chen and Tang immediately and is incredibly annoyed. It is like running into a Discord mod who takes their job way too seriously. A fight breaks out, but it is mostly cinematic posturing to establish dominance. Mifu realizes who the administrator is and immediately switches up her attitude. She apologizes for the hostility, blaming it on Tang's bad reputation. She confirms that Perlika is already inside, so the squad gets VIP access while Tang is told to wait outside like a banned user. The scene shifts to a lore-heavy walking tour with Master Zhuang. The administrator gets to explore the science labs, and Zhuang is dumping exposition about the past. It is a slow-paced segment meant to build emotional attachment to the setting before everything inevitably goes wrong later in the story. Zhuang shows off some pear blossoms she cultivated, triggering a memory flashback. The administrator remembers promising to bring flowers to this desolate place years ago. It is a touching moment that proves the main character has a deep history here, even if their memory file is currently corrupted. A drone malfunctions during the festival preparations, and Zhuang uses it as a metaphor for the city's struggles. She wants the administrator to see the real Wulin, not just the sanitized version. They watch a performance, soaking in the culture before the inevitable combat sequence disrupts the peace. Chuang explains the history of the living soil technology that saves them from the Blight. It is a massive info dump about how they terraformed the land 20 years ago. The administrator learns that their past self was a legend who helped build this place, adding weight to their current mission. The vibe check fails when the observation station goes offline. The Blight is attacking, and it is time for a raid mission. Mifu gears up, and surprisingly, Tang crashes the party to help out. They have to put aside their beef to stop the server from crashing due to the monster invasion. The group clears out the trash mobs on the way to the station. Tang and Mifu start a kill count competition, turning a life-or-death situation into a scoreboard rivalry. It is toxic but effective, as they mow down enemies while roasting each other's combat skills. The administrator just watches the chaos unfold. They reach the boss room and find the Tidebreaker elephant, a massive, corrupted entity. Mifu tries to solo it to prove a point, but she gets wrecked. Tang and the administrator jump in to carry the fight. It is a classic raid mechanic where the tank goes down and the DPS has to clutch up. The boss is defeated, and the equipment is saved. Mifu tries to hide her injury because she is too proud, but Tang calls her out and offers meds. This moment solidifies their begrudging respect for each other. They are not friends yet, but they are definitely not enemies anymore. Tang leaves to go sell the idea of an industrial alliance to her brother. She realizes that aligning with Endfield is the meta strategy for survival. She wants to upgrade her bandit camp with new tech, proving she has some actual leadership vision beneath all that chaotic yapping. Perlica and the administrator debrief. They realize that balancing the factions between the city and the bandits is key to winning this region. The threat of the Blight is still looming, but they have secured local allies. The mission is complete, but the grind for the next zone is just beginning.